All right, I think we're ready to get started. So welcome everybody. It's so great to have you all here. My name is Amanda and we will be doing a Vinyasa class this afternoon. It will be 75 minutes. I will offer modifications for beginners and more challenging poses for the advanced yogis. So let's go ahead and start off on our backs. Now for those of you that do have the playlist and are able to play it, go ahead and start song number 1. We'll go through the whole list as we go through our flow. So we're on our backs. I want you to get comfortable, making sure your shoulders are comfortable underneath you, your hips. Let those feet splay open. The hands can point down to the ground to ground you, or they can point up to the sky to keep you open. And I want you to close your eyes and just start by connecting with the breath. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. So we're all going through kind of a crazy time right now. We're mostly in quarantine with this coronavirus. So some of us are loving it and some of us are hating it. But it's a really good time right now just to connect with yourselves, because a lot of times we get busy doing other things, whether it's for our friends, our family, our parents, our siblings, our spouses, our pets. So this gives you the opportunity to dedicate this next 75 minutes just to you. So again, breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. Maybe incorporating what we call Ujjayi breath. All that means is on the exhale, it kind of sounds like you're fogging up a mirror. And as you're here on your back, I want you to notice how your body feels. Do you have any sore spots? Maybe your quads are tight or your shoulders are sore. Maybe you have a kink in the neck. So there's nothing wrong with any of those things. It's just a matter of having that awareness before we come into our practice. So take a few more breaths here. And then next I want you to start thinking about an intention for this practice. Now some people have an intention set and ready to go and they use it every time. And then I have other students that say, I just don't know what to make for an intention. So if you're not really sure what to do for an intention, you could simply say, I am, or I have awareness. My favorite is I am completely healthy. So keep that in your mind as we go through our flow. So for those of you that were curious about the playlist, it was sent in an email, but it will only play if you have iTunes. So now that we have set that intention, let's bring our knees to our chest and gently rock them from side to side, keeping that head heavy on the ground. I like to spin my chin in the opposite direction of my knees to see if I can get a couple extra back cracks out of it. And then from here, we're going to come into wind removing pose. So extend that left leg down. We're keeping that right knee bent in, really pulling it up to the armpits. If you'd like to circle the ankle or the knee, feel free to do so. Just make sure you go in each direction for some balance. And then when we're ready, we're going to reach our left hand over that knee, extending that right hand out to a 3 o'clock position. I'm looking to my right fingers as I pull my knee over to the left for a gentle spinal twist, not too deep, we're just warming up. Rotating back onto that back, bringing that opposite knee up to the chest, rocking it side to side one more time. And then when you're ready, we'll extend that right leg down, coming into winter moving pose on the left side. Again, I'm pulling my knee kind of to the side body. If you circle the ankle or the knee on the opposite side, make sure you do it on this side as well. And then we'll reach that right hand over that left knee. The left hand extends out to that 9 o'clock position. And then we pull that knee over to the right side. Stay looking to those left fingers for a really gentle stretch. Feels so good when we twist. And then rotating back onto that back. Rocking it side to side. And then this time we're going to come into happy baby. So we're kicking the heels high. We're trying to grab the outer edges of the feet, pulling the knees down. If you cannot reach the outer edges of the feet, no worries. You can always grab those ankles or pull behind the thighs. But we do want to keep the heels extended and the knees pulled down, noticing that spine. A lot of us want to tuck our chin up, but we're going to tuck it down so the base of that neck bone is down. If you'd like to rock it side to side, that's fine. Bringing those heels down to the ground, bringing them as close to your glutes as you can. We're just going to simply gently windshield wiper the knees from side to side. And then when you're ready, we're coming into a full body stretch, pointing the toes in the opposite direction, reaching those arms up overhead. It should feel so nice. And then when you're ready, we're going to simply roll onto our stomach. So just flip all around. And from here, we are going to come into a shoulder stretch. So we're going to extend that right arm out to the side like a 3 o'clock position on a clock. We're going to roll onto our side body, bending that left leg behind the right. The left arm can simply rest behind the back. Again, the further you bend your knee back, the deeper the shoulder stretch is. Careful not to overdo it. Beautiful. Coming back onto that belly, right hand comes down by the side, opposite cheek to the mat. This time we'll extend that left arm out into a 9 o'clock position and come into the same shoulder stretch on the opposite side. The right leg bends behind the left. The right arm can simply rest behind the back. Staying connected to the breath. Beautiful. When you're ready, coming out of that shoulder stretch back onto that belly, we're going to bring the hands under the shoulders and press back into a child's pose position. So the knees are wide, the toes are together, the forehead comes down to the ground, the arms reaching up overhead for a nice stretch. Feeling those arms stretch out feels so good. And then making our way up into tabletop position. So from here, we're going to start off with some hip circles. So let's rotate those circles to the left. Maybe doing 3 circles in one direction, and then when you're done, we'll rotate the opposite direction and then rotate them to the right, just to warm those hips up a bit. And then when you're done, coming back into that tabletop position, making sure that the shoulders are over the wrists and the hips are over the knees. We're going to warm up our spine with some cat-cows. So drop that belly down, inhale, cow as the gaze comes high. Exhaling, cat, curling that navel to the spine, rounding those shoulders. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. One more, inhale, cow. And exhale, cat. Coming back into that neutral tabletop position. From here, we extend the right leg out behind us. We're coming into what's called sunbird. So I'm going to bring my elbows back like a chaturanga. They do not come wide, they come behind me. We're going to rock on that left knee, lower the nose down to the ground, press it up high, exhale, knee to nose. Extend, lower down sunbird. Press it up high, exhale, knee to nose. Extend, last one, lower down sunbird. Press it up high, exhale, knee to nose. Extending that right leg out. This time left arm comes forward. Now stay here if you need. Otherwise, let's exhale our elbow to our knee. Inhale, extend. Elbow to knee. Inhale, extend. Last one, elbow to knee. Inhale, extend. Stay here if you need. Otherwise, reaching for that back foot, kicking into the arm, looking over the left shoulder if you can. Beautiful. Releasing that arm and leg, extending it back long, coming back into that tabletop position. So, same thing, opposite side. This time we'll extend, let's see, yeah, the left leg comes out for sunbird, opposite side. So again, we're bringing that nose down to the ground, lower down sunbird. Press it up high, exhale, knee to nose. Extend, lower down sunbird. Press it up high, exhale, knee to nose. Extend, last one, lower down. Press it up high, exhale, knee to nose. Extend. This time, right arm extends forward. My beginners, stay here. If you'd like more, exhale the elbow to the knee. Inhale, extend. Elbow to knee. Inhale, extend. Last one, elbow to knee. Inhale, extend. Reaching back behind you, grabbing that foot, kicking into it, looking over that right shoulder if you can. Beautiful. Releasing out of it, extending that arm and leg forward, coming back down into tabletop position, and then curling those toes under, lifting those hips, coming into our first down dog of the day, or at least mine. So go ahead and walk those legs out. We're pressing through the shoulders. Your gaze should be to your knees or up to your groin. Give those legs a chance to warm up, bending each leg, warming up those hamstrings. Beautiful, looking good. Very nice. Now let's bring our feet as wide as our mat and bring the hands in one step closer. We're going to bring that left hand center, reaching the right hand for the left ankle and pulling myself through, looking up underneath my left armpit to the sky. Beautiful. Release that right hand, bringing it center under the face. This time the left hand reaches for the right ankle, looking up underneath the armpit, up to the sky. Beautiful. Releasing that left hand, coming back into our regular down dog. So from here, we're going to lift that right leg high, circling the ankle around in each direction, maybe 3 circles each way. And then when you're done, we bend that knee, we circle the knee around, opening up that hip, making sure you circle both directions. Once you feel good with that, we straighten the legs, squaring off the hips, the toes point down. From here, we're coming into dragon pose. So the foot comes to the right side of the right hand, that left knee comes down to the ground. Now you can stay high on the hands. You can lift one arm high. You can reach for the back foot, whatever feels good to you. You can also come down on those forearms and do the same options. Keep both forearms down, lift one hand high, reach for the back foot. I like to roll onto my side hip. Whatever feels good, 5 breaths here. Two more breaths, almost there. And then when you're ready, we bring the hands back to the mat. We walk that foot into the center. So we're coming into a low lunge here. Now it doesn't really matter to me. Your stance can be shallow or it can be deeper. When I mean deeper, I'm just extending my leg out more. But the main thing is I want to make sure our heel is under our knee. Once you're in the position you want to be in, go ahead and clasp the hands behind the back. Now my beginners, you may need to stay looking down to the ground. But my advanced yogis, try looking up to the sky as you reach back. We're stretching out that left hip flexor, also our shoulders. Breathing, of course. If we're not breathing, we're not doing yoga. And then releasing the hands down to the mat, coming into half monkey. So the only thing I'm doing is straightening my right leg. My hips stay lifted. I'm reaching my forehead for my toes, feeling a really yummy stretch down this hamstring. Beautiful. From here, we're transitioning into standing split. Now, some people like to curl those back toes under and nudge that knee forward. Keep the hands down for support if you need it. You do not have to lift those left toes high for you to be in this pose. We're working on the stability of the base legs. Now, for my advanced yogis that are working on balance, you can extend that leg high. Maybe start by wrapping one arm around the calf and eventually wrapping both hands around the leg. It takes a while to build the stability here, but it does eventually come to be. It just takes consistent practice. And then from here, we're lowering that left foot down for pyramid pose. Bringing that back foot at a 45-degree angle. We do want to try to get that front leg straight. Some people like to lift their chest up and then come back down to get into it. Whatever feels good to you, it really feels like a nice hamstring stretch here. So keeping that head low, I'm going to turn around so that my butt is not towards the camera, but we're turning to the center of the mat, coming into a forward fold position. So I'm going to turn and face you guys instead. So for my beginners, we're working on flexibility here. Pull your hands through the mat. For my more advanced yogis, maybe you're working on an inversion. If you'd like to come into a headstand, forearm stand, handstand, whatever it is you do for inversions, go ahead and do that. Just be cautious, taking about 3 or 4 breaths here. Go ahead and lift that chest back up. So for those of you that inverted, slowly coming back down. And now I'm going to turn the same direction, but I'm facing a different direction than I was. You guys will be turning so that the right leg or the left leg is bent, but I've got to turn this way for my left leg to bend. So we're rotating forward and then stepping back into down dog. So again, walk it out, bend those legs a little bit, pressing through the arms, the gaze is to the knees or up to the groin. And then when you're ready, we lift that left leg high, circling the ankle in each direction. Once that feels good, we bend that leg, circling the knee around each way. And once you feel stretched out there, we square off the hips. The toes point down. We're coming into dragon pose on the left side. So the left foot comes to the left side of the left hand. That right knee comes down. Same thing as last time. You can stay high on the hands or you can come down to the forearms. We will be here for 5 breaths. Stretching out that hip. I do like to roll onto the side hip. It's whatever feels good to you. 2 more breaths. Beautiful. When you're ready, bring those hands back down to the ground. We're walking that foot back into the center. So this is that low lunge position. Again, for my beginners, keep that foot drawn in a little bit closer. Make sure it's a 90-degree angle. The heel is under the knee. If you want to go deeper, you can. This time, when we cross the hands behind the back, reverse the finger grip. It'll feel like you're holding someone else's hand, but that is the whole point. So we're rolling open the shoulders. We're also stretching this right hip flexor. So double duty here. It feels amazing. If you feel unbalanced, stay looking down. It helps to squeeze the thighs together for stability. Hands come back to the mat. This is where we come into half monkey. The only thing I do is straighten that left leg, reaching my forehead for my toes, getting a really nice hamstring stretch here. Staying connected to the breath always. Curling those back toes under if you need. We're going to nudge that right knee forward, coming into the standing split. Again, I'm not trying to make you guys be crazy acrobatics. We're just building stability of the base leg. So important. So keep that hands down for support. For those of you that want to make a little bit more effort, we lift the leg as high as we can go. And if we want to balance, we start by wrapping one arm around the calf. Eventually, we'll get the second arm up to it. It took me a really long time to get the balance here to do this, so don't be impatient with yourself. It does take time. And then when you're ready, that right foot comes down, 45-degree angle on that foot. Pyramid pose. Again, if you want to lift that chest up, you can, coming back down. It is okay if there's a bend in the knee, but ultimately, the pose is way more effective if you can get that left leg straight. Beautiful. Bringing those hands down to the ground. If they're not, we're walking back to the center of the mat one more time. So this time we're going to come into a spinal twist. So the left hand comes underneath the face. That right hand reaches high to the sky. I'm looking up to the sky at my right hand. Now some of us want more of a deeper twist than this. So if you do, you can wrap that arm around, grabbing that left inner thigh. Stay looking up to the sky. And if you still want more, you can reach that left hand for the right ankle. But again, keep the twist. It's not a right leg stretch. It's a spinal twist. Releasing out of it, both hands back to center. Take a breath in here. Exhale it out. And when you're ready, the right hand comes underneath the face. The left hand lifts high. Look up to that left hand. Snap those fingers if you want. And then when you're ready, we wrap the hand around the waist for a deeper stretch. And if you still want more, you can reach that right hand for the left ankle, but I'm still looking up to the sky. Releasing out of it, coming back to center, taking a breath in here. And then we rotate to the top of the mat, stepping that right foot back, coming back into down dog. Go ahead, walk it out. So we're going to do a couple sun salutations just to warm up. So we're going to look to the top of the mat. You can either walk or hop to the top of the mat. Inhale, half back extension. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, up to standing. Exhale, hands to heart center. Beautiful. I'll go through them slow. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half back extension. Exhale, hop or step, high plank. If you need to modify, you can bring the knees down to low plank. Keeping the elbows next to you. Inhale your up dog. Curling those toes under. Exhale, down dog. We'll do one more a little bit faster. Looking to the top of the mat, hop or step. Inhale, half back extension. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, up to standing. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, arms high. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half back. Exhale, high plank to low plank. Modify knees down if you need. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Beautiful. So we'll come into our first flow. Right leg lifts high. We're coming through to warrior two. So in warrior two, my back foot is at a 90-degree angle. My front foot is forward. I've got a bend in my knee. When I look down at my front toes, the first thing I see is my big toe. If I see my knee, I'm not open enough. Open that knee up, see that toe. Arms extending forward and backwards. Feeling strong, core is engaged. Sun warrior, left hand down, right hand lifts. Straighten that front leg, reach up taller, full body stretch. Beautiful, coming back into warrior two. Feel strong, core is engaged, arms energetically reaching forward. From here we rotate to warrior one. So what I do is I bring my back foot to a 45-degree angle. Now my hips are forward, arms energetically reaching up. Hands come to heart center. We're pressing into warrior three. So my hips are squared, my toes are pointed down. It's more about balance. Now you can extend the legs, arms behind or forward. For my advanced yogis, I'm going to challenge you. Bend that knee. Try pulsing for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. If you fall, no big deal. From here, we come into chair pose. Hands at heart center. Core is engaged, tailbone is tucked under. You should be able to lift those toes off the ground. Hands to heart center, we're pulsing for 10. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hold it down, be strong. From here, the left elbow comes to the right knee, being strong, pressing hard on that elbow. I'm using my right hand to press into my left, feeling strong on that knee. My left knee stays forward. Sometimes that knee wants to pop up. So we're going to step the left leg back into crescent lunge. Being strong. Step it forward. Step it back. And this time the left hand comes down, the right hand comes high. Take some weight out of that right leg. If you need to modify, bring the knee down. So from here, my advanced yogis, if your knee is lifted, we're pressing back into side plank. Otherwise, modified version, knees down, side plank. Keep the knee down. Beautiful, being strong. Lift a leg if you're in full plank, if you can. Extending that right arm overhead. And then coming into full plank. So again, if you need to modify, knees down. We are going to do high plank, low plank. So whatever feels good to you, come on into it. So low plank. Back to high, low, high, low, high, low, up dog, down dog. Walk it out, take a breath. May have gone through that one a little faster than I intended. I'll try to slow the next one down. So when you're ready, left leg lifts high. And then we're coming through to warrior two. So again, back foot's at a 90-degree angle. My front knee is bent, making sure that when you look down to your toes, you can see your big toe first, not your knee. Arms energetically reaching front and back. From here, Sun Warrior, right hand down, left hand lifts. Straighten that left leg, reach taller, that arm reaches high to the sky. And then back to Warrior Two. From here, transitioning to Warrior One. All I'm doing is turning my hips forward. My back foot is at a 45-degree angle. Hands to heart center, Warrior Three. So again, hips are squared, toes are pointed down. My advanced yogis only, bend that knee, pump it, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I didn't fall that time. Chair pose. So go ahead and come into chair pose. Again, those toes should be lifted, tailbone tucked under, core is engaged. Hands at heart center. We're pulsing again. 4, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hold it down. I know it's hard. This time, right elbow to the left knee. Pressing hard in it. Making sure that that right knee doesn't pop too far forward. Taking a breath. When you're ready, that right foot steps back. Twisted crescent. Step it forward, twisted chair. Step it back. Step it forward, one more, and we're done. Step it back, twisted crescent. This time the right hand comes down. Take some weight out of this left leg. It should be equal on all 3 limbs. Left arm reaches high. Take a few breaths. And then when you're ready, side plank. So my advanced yogis, keep that leg lifted. Try to extend the left leg high. Otherwise, my beginners, knee down, toes down. Looking high with the fingers if you can. When you're ready, back to high plank. Everybody, if you need to modify, keep those knees down. We're gonna do the high-low. So, low plank, high, low, high, low, high, low, up dog, to down dog. Beautiful. Let's come into child's pose just for a minute to catch our breath. The rest of us, if we want to keep working, maybe dolphin pose. Is that right? Is this dolphin? I forget. My memory is not very good lately. Otherwise, child's pose for 5 breaths. Grabbing a drink of water if you need it. Beautiful. 2 more breaths, we're almost there. And then when you're ready, meeting me back in down dog position. So again, our gaze is towards our knees or up to our groin. We just have one more flow before we slow it down for our yin stretching out. So we're gonna lift that right leg high. Keeping the arms and head exactly where they are, bring the knee to the nose. Kick it back high. Knee to right elbow, hold it, fly it if you want to fly it. Pressing that leg back high. Knee to left elbow, hold it, keep that lifted, hold it, hold it. Kick it back high. And then one more time, knee to nose. Kick it back high, warrior 1. Arms energetically reaching up. Back foot's at a 45-degree angle. My hips are forward. Staying connected to the breath, making sure there's a bend in the front knee. Beautiful. From here, we're clasping the hands behind the back, rolling open the shoulders. I'm reaching down my left leg. Now, advanced yogis, try looking high to the sky in the stretch. I'm stretching my hip flexor and my shoulders. If you feel out of balance here, stay looking down. From here, humble warrior. Keep those hands clasped together. The right shoulder can rest on the right knee. My advanced yogis know that we are trying to get that head lower, almost down to the ground. So go beyond the knee if you can. Otherwise, use your knee as a resting point. Coming back up to warrior one. Keeping the bend in that knee, arms extending up overhead. Feeling strong. Opening it up to warrior two. So now my back foot's at a 90-degree. My hips are now facing the camera, not to the front of the room anymore. Keeping that front knee open. I can see my big toe. Arms energetically reaching front and back. So from here, we're coming into side angle. The right elbow comes to the knee. The left arm reaches forward. Now, my advanced yogis, maybe you bind. Maybe you bring the hand lower. Maybe you fly. Whatever it is you want to do, go ahead and do it. Beautiful. Coming back up into warrior two. From here, we straighten that front leg, and we pop that hip back, coming into triangle pose. So triangle pose is more about being flat like a piece of paper. It doesn't matter how low I go. I'm keeping my left shoulder open, looking up to the sky, almost trying to reach back behind me. Now this is where I still utilize a block, even though I'm a teacher. We're coming into revolve triangle. So the first thing I do is shorten my stance and bring my back foot to a 45-degree angle. My hips are now pointing forward. My left hand comes down to the ground and my right hand reaches high to the sky. I'm looking high to my right hand, twisting, detoxing. So from here, we lower that right hand down, coming back into pyramid pose. For my advanced yogis, I invite you to clasp your hands behind your back and then come down into this pose. The weight of your arm really adds to the torso and brings you into the stretch even deeper. From here, we're lifting back up into warrior one. So I really shouldn't have had to move any of my feet at all. My back foot's still at a 45-degree angle. So from here, I'm going to bring my hands to heart center and step my left foot forward into standing staff. Not an easy pose to be in. So from here, we're going to step it back into crescent lunge. So my heel is lifted, my arms reaching high. Exhale, standing staff. Inhale, crescent lunge. Exhale, standing staff, and we're going to pulse for 10. So kicking high for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lowering that foot down. Let me get this block out of the way. So coming into Tadasana pose. We're not quite done yet. So now I invite you to come to any balancing pose that you want. So perhaps you want to do tree with a kickstand. Toes are down, heels lifted. You can do low calf. Please don't do knee. You can do high quad. You can do lotus. You can do dancer, where we grab the inside of the left foot and the right hand comes high. We kick into it. Or you can do eagle, where the left foot crosses over the right, and the left hand under the right. So whatever it is that you want to do, hold it as long as you can. If you fall out, come back in it. Nobody's watching. You're at your home doing your own flow. And meeting me in Tadasana when you're done. Take 5 or 6 breaths here. No rush. Beautiful. You guys look fantastic. Taylor, amazing. You look beautiful. Oh, I love the tree, Raquel. Beautiful. Meeting me back in Tadasana pose when you're ready. So inhaling, arms up. Exhaling, hands to heart center, maybe closing those eyes, looking at your third eye, reflecting on your intention one more time. Beautiful. Inhaling, arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half back extension. Exhale, hands come back down. Your choice if you want to flow it out or step it into down dog. So you can just come back into down dog, or you can come high plank to low, up dog, to down. When you're ready, left leg lifts. So remember, we're doing that nose to the knee to the nose. Keep the arms and head exactly where they are. Bring that knee to your nose. Kick it back high. Knee to left elbow. Hold it. Be strong. Fly it if you want to fly it. Pressing it back up high. Knee to right elbow. Be strong. Hold it. Hold it. Hold it. Coming back high. One more time, knee to nose. Kick it high, warrior one. So my hips are forward, my back foot is at a 45-degree angle, arms energetically reaching up. Hold here. Feeling strong, core is engaged. When you're ready, we're going to clasp the hands behind the back, but reverse the finger grip. It'll feel like you're holding someone else's hand. That's the whole point. Rolling open those shoulders, reaching down that right leg. Now, stay looking down if you need to for balance. Otherwise, try looking high to the sky. From here, humble warrior. Left shoulder to the left knee. You can rest it if you need it. My advanced yogis, you know we go beyond it, but keep that head pointed to the top of the mat. Some people try to come to the center. I'd like you to stay hips forward. Back up to warrior one. Keeping that bend in that front knee. Opening it up to warrior two. Back foot comes to a 90-degree angle. My front knee is still bent, but my knee's open. I can see my big toes first. Arms energetically reaching front and back. So from here, side angle. Left elbow comes to the knee. Right hand reaches high. You can extend it forward. You can also bind it. And you can also fly it. I'll just give you an example. You step that right foot forward. We lift the left knee high, you get your balance, and then we work on straightening that left leg. Making your way down if you flew. Stepping that right leg back. And then coming back up into warrior two. Feeling strong and powerful. This time we straighten that front leg. We pop that hip. Lowering that left hand down, right hand high, flat like a piece of paper. It's not about bending low. Looking up to that right hand. And then from here, we transition into revolve triangle. I like to shorten my stance. Bring that right foot to a 45-degree angle. My right hand comes down. My left hand comes high. Twisting, breathing through it. And then lowering that left hand down, coming back into that pyramid pose. Now again, for my advanced yogis, if you want to try it, you can try it. Lift that chest up, reversing my finger grip so it'll feel weird, and then coming down into pyramid with the hands clasped behind the back. Beautiful. Coming back up into warrior one. Arms energetically reaching up. Feeling strong. Keeping that bend in that front knee. And then exhaling your hands to heart center, coming into standing stack. So kicking that right leg forward. Falling. So we're going to step it back into crescent lunge. Arms lift high. Keep that heel lifted. Exhale, standing stack. Inhale, crescent lunge. Exhale, standing stack. I think we're about good there. We're gonna pulse it though, so we're kicking high. 4, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Tadasana pose. Beautiful. Take a breath here. Exhale it out. And whatever balancing pose that you did on the left leg, I want you to do on the right leg. So if it was kickstand with tree, or if it was lotus, or if it was dancer, do it on the opposite side. So again, I'm not watching. It's your flow coming on into whatever you did. Try to hold it for 5 or 6 breaths if you can. Beautiful. You guys look fantastic. I'm so impressed. Take 2 more breaths and then meet me in Tadasana pose. Standing at the top of the mat. Beautiful. Let's inhale those arms up. Exhale, hands to heart center. One more time. Inhaling, arms up. Exhaling, hands to heart center. So we're now going to turn to the side of our mat and come into goddess pose. So the number one thing is I'm going to turn my feet in a 45-degree angle, so they're really pointing to the corners of my mat. Now you don't want your stance too wide because we're going to bend our knees and drop down into this. So normally we would lift our hands up high, but I'm actually going to walk us through a different pose here. So we're going to bring our hands on our knees. So I'm really letting a lot of my torso weight press through my arms into my knees, and I can almost feel myself pushing my knees out deeper. So I really am putting some pressure on my legs. Once I feel comfortable here, I'm going to drop my right shoulder down and press through my arm against my right knee. Really getting inside stretch in my thigh and also stretching my shoulder and my knee. Coming back to center, this time we drop the left down. Pressing through that left arm into the knee. Back to the right. And then one more time to the left. Beautiful. Let's bring those feet forward, straighten the legs, coming into a forward fold again. So again, if you're working on a headstand, now some people like to use their hands as a support system to come on up into it. Now you don't have to invert, but if you want to, you certainly can. But taking your time to come out of the inversion just as slowly as you came into it. For those of you that are not working on inversions, we're just working on flexibility. So pulling yourself through your legs as deep as you can go. About 5 Beautiful. Now bringing the hands back down to the ground. If you inverted, coming back down into that wide-legged stretch. So we're now going to come into some hip stretches. My stance is a lot deeper than when I was in goddess pose. So from here, we're going to bend that right knee, dropping the hips down. The left toes can reach up to the sky. Now, some of us can get into this pose and some of us cannot. So some of us are going to have a right heel that wants to pop up high. So you can either stay here with your heel lifted, or you can lift your hips up high enough for that heel to come back down. You're still getting the same benefit either way. For my advanced yogis that are in this, you can open up if you want, and you can also bind if you want. So for my beginners, we're going to transition to the left side. All of us are going to transition. But bring the hands down to the mat to help support you, lifting up and then bending that left knee, dropping down. If your right heel popped up, your left heel will pop up too. So don't worry about that. Again, you either stay with the heel lifted or lift the hips up, your choice. My advanced yogis, if you're down all the way, you can open and you can bind. So this time in our transition, advanced yogis, try it with hands at heart center. A lot more leg strength, but moving back to the right. Beautiful. And then hands down for my beginners, one more time to the left. So from here, we're going to do kind of a funny transition. We're going to simply bring our glutes down if we can and bring our knee down to the mat with the foot bent behind. So I'm in a 90-degree angle on my mat, but my knee is bent behind me. So I have my right leg straight and my left knee bent. Now some people just cannot get into this pose, and that is okay. If your knee is not flexible enough, because I'm going to turn to the side so you can kind of see how my foot is. If that's not working for you, then you can just bring the foot inside, okay? So whatever preference you want. I'm going to try to have us do it with the foot back. So I'm kind of coming at an angle here. I'm not going to the left side, I'm not going to the right side, I'm kind of coming down the center here. I can't go quite as low. I definitely am feeling some resistance through this left leg. So just settle into it, breathing through it. Be here for about 10 breaths, maybe 12. This is where we're kind of settling down into our yin stretching. We always hold our yin poses longer because it really takes our bodies time to open up. We're really stretching the tendons and the ligaments. When you take a yin class, which is just a yin class, you will hold the poses from anywhere between 2 minutes and 5 minutes. So it's a little bit different. Noticing where your thoughts go, bringing them back to the present moment. Two more breaths. So if anybody had that front knee, the front foot in, you may not be able to transition the same way. We're going to come into pigeon pose. I'm going to direct us to our front side. If you prefer to take it on the back side, you can. So all I'm doing is bending my right foot and extending my left leg straight. So now I'm kind of straight on my mat. My hips are squared. My right knee is to the right side of the mat. The higher up my foot lifts, the harder this pose is. The lower the foot comes down to the groin, the easier. It's really stretching this right hip. So once you get squared off here, then we lower down for the stretch. You can use your hands as a pillow. I actually like to extend my arms up overhead and press my hips back even deeper for a deeper stretch in this pose. Now for my yogis that want to take it on their backs, you would simply bend the right leg across the left knee. I will reach in between my legs and pull my left leg closer as I push my right knee away, keeping the feet extended. Still feeling the stretch in the same part of the hip. So here a little bit longer, 10 breaths. Finding stillness, noticing where your thoughts are. Okay, so for those of you that took it on your stomach, we're gonna lift our chest up slowly and rotate to the center of the mat. I'm gonna bend my left leg, well, actually no, I'm gonna keep my left leg straight. I'm gonna try to bend my right leg behind me. So again, same spiel. If you cannot bend this leg behind you, that is okay. You can bring it to the front side, okay? Your choice. But try to get it behind if you can. I'm at a 90-degree angle. My legs are making a 90 degree. I'm not leaning to the right or to the left. I'm coming down to center. Stretching down. We'll be here for about 10 breaths. About 3 more breaths. We're almost there. You guys are doing great. When you're ready, we're lifting that chest up. This is where we do our transition into pigeon. So for those of you that have your knee back, it's kind of simple here. We're just bending that the left knee in. That foot comes down. And I rotate my hips forward, extending my right leg behind. So if you were coming on the front side, go ahead and settle down. Once you have those hips squared off, lowering that chest down. Forehead can rest on the hands. You can reach the arms up overhead and press back into this pose. And then for my yogis wanting to take it on their back, again, the left leg crosses over the right knee. We are on our backs. We reach our hands through, pulling that right thigh closer as I push my left knee away. You'll feel the stretch in the same side. Staying connected to the breath. Noticing where your thoughts are. They usually go to about the same place. Notice where they're going. It's okay that they run off. But notice where they're going and then bring them back to present moment. Just kind of having the awareness of how much the mind fluctuates. Beautiful. We're almost there. 3 more breaths. So no matter where you are, we're going to lift that chest back up. And curl those toes under. We're pressing back into down dog. Just to kind of give those legs a little stretch out after pigeon pose. It's a very intense stretch. We're now going to make our way into frog pose, but I'm going to offer variations of frog. Some people don't really like to come into such a deep stretch. So if you're one of those people, you can come into a wide-legged child's pose. What that means, and I'll turn this way just so you can see me. Normally in child's pose, the knees are wide and the toes are together. So you can see that I would extend forward this way. But in wide-legged frog, the feet are further apart. Okay, so it's not quite like child's pose. You're a little bit wider. So you're definitely getting that hip opening stretch. For those of you that want to come into the real deal frog, I would invite you to fold your mat. Some people like to fold the edges up, and some people like to fold their mat in half for a little cushioning for the knees. I always fold my edges in, but come into whichever way you want. And then this time, I bring my ankle and my knee in alignment together on each side of my body. So once I'm there, I come onto my forearms and settle in. So we will be here for about 15 breaths. We're holding it a little bit longer. If anybody needs to come out early, go ahead, come out early. Meet me in child's pose or just on your stomachs. Settling in, connecting with the breath. So when I teach yin classes, I go over 4 principles of yin. And the first is to really know the area that we're focusing on. So really on the inner thighs, inner hips. Stretching and opening up those tendons and ligaments, not just the muscles. Then it's important to kind of relax the muscles within that area to allow your body kind of settle into it. The third principle is the hardest in my opinion. It's the quieting of the body and the mind, not just one, but both. Mind is the hardest one for me to quiet. And the last principle is to come out slow. We're not coming out quite yet. Got 3 more breaths. We're almost there. You guys are doing fantastic. Staying focused. And then when you're ready, slowly making your way out of it. There's really no graceful way to come out of it. Just bringing the knees back together. If you folded out up your mat, go ahead and open it back up. We're going to come onto our backs into corpse pose. So go ahead and come on back, extending those legs long. So we're going to bring our knees to our chest one more time, rocking it side to side, keeping that head heavy on the ground. Beautiful. We're coming into happy baby one more time. This time we're going to come into it a little bit more deeper because we are warmed up. So some people really like to grab their big toes with their pointer fingers and try to straighten their legs. Even if your legs don't come all the way straight, you can still come into this. It kind of feels good to rock from side to side. You don't have to do this at all. You can keep the knees bent. And then once you're ready to come back into the traditional child's pose form, again, the idea is to kick the heels high, pull the knees down. We tuck that chin in. So the base of that neck bone is down on the ground, all the way down to the tailbone, making that spine flat. I used to think my yoga teachers were kind of crazy when they said that because my spine was not flat, but it actually did flatten out after a couple of years, but it does work in time. Takes consistency to get there. So bringing the knees back together, heels down to the ground. Let's windshield wiper the knees from side to side. And then we're coming into our spinal twist again. So bending that right knee up to the chest. I'm grabbing my knee with my left hand. My right hand comes out to a 3 o'clock position to the side. Except this time I'm going to make sure that my right shoulder stays grounded. I can feel the stretch a lot deeper when I keep my shoulder grounded. I'm pulling my knee over to the left, looking to my right fingers, keeping that right shoulder on the ground. Now for my super flexi yogis, you can entwine the legs together. Sometimes I rotate the hips to the side so I can get into the stretch even deeper. Everybody is different, so do not compare yourself to others. Just come into what feels good for you. Again, no injuries here. The spine is a very difficult area to recover from an injury. Deep breathing. When we twist, we detox. Beautiful. Releasing those legs if you entwine them. Coming back to your back, rotating from side to side one more time. And then we'll come into spinal twist on the opposite side. So extend my right leg down, keeping my left knee high. My left arm comes out to a 9 o'clock position, keeping that shoulder grounded, pulling the knee over to the right. I stay looking to those left fingers. Oh, it's so delicious. It feels amazing. Keeping that shoulder grounded as we come into this twist. Again, my super flexi yogis, you can entwine the legs together if you want. Staying connected, always breathing. When we twist, we detox. Breathe through it. Two more breaths, almost there. Beautiful. When you're ready, coming back onto your back, both knees to the chest, rocking side to side. So from here, we're going to come into waterfall pose. So there's several variations here. And simply kick the feet up high to the sky. And this is waterfall pose. If you'd like to elevate a little bit more without effort, you could use a block or a pillow or something, putting it underneath your hips. So now I'm a little bit higher up. Or you can come into shoulder stand. So shoulder stand, we press the feet all the way up and support ourselves with our forearms. The elbows are down. But don't come into plow. Plow is where we bend the legs. Keep the legs straight for about 5 breaths. This is my favorite detox. This is the detox you guys should do every single day. You can do this laying in bed, just kicking the feet up to the sky. It really cleanses out our lymph system. I sound so redundant, but I always say we ingest so much pollution from the air that we're breathing, the water that we're drinking, and the food that we're eating. I don't care if it's organic and such, just the packaging alone, the processing really damages that and causes us to ingest things that we don't normally do. So a lymph cleansing pose such as this helps clear that stuff out. So you could do this every single day if you want to. Those of you that did come into shoulder stand, now if you want to come into plow, we certainly can. You keep the hands on the hips. You can keep the hands down on the ground. You come into death moon. We bend the knees around the ears. And for those of you that are in waterfall or supported waterfall, just stay there for a moment. We're all going to meet back in waterfall in a minute. So my shoulder standers and my people that had a block under them, go ahead, come back into regular waterfall position. So just the feet are up to the sky. We're gonna put the hands underneath the glutes, palms down, and lower the heels down to the ground, one vertebrae at a time, slowly. We're going to make our way into fish pose. So once the heels come down to the ground, we point those toes forward. We lift up, supporting our torso with our forearms, lifting our heart to the sky, looking back behind us. So my heart is the highest muscle in the body, the very vulnerable position. I want you to reflect on your intention while you're here. And then when you're ready, slowly lowering yourself down into corpse pose. Settling in. Of course, if anybody needs a drink of water before we come into meditation, feel free to do that. Otherwise, I want you to get comfortable on your mat, making sure your shoulder blades are comfortable underneath you, your glutes comfortable, feet can just splay open, head is heavy on the ground. Your palms can point down to the ground to ground you, or you can point them up to the sky to keep you more open. So from here, we're going to go ahead and exhale all the air out of our lungs. Empty, empty, empty that belly. Blow it all out. When you're ready, we're going to inhale together for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold it at the top. One more breath in. And release it. Empty it all the way out. Inhaling again for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold it at the top. One more breath in. And release it. Empty it all the way out. I want you to go back to your normal breathing, and I will see you on the other side of Savasana. You can slowly bring the awareness back to your bodies. You can just stay laying there. I'm going to do a reading by Melody Beatty. It was a cold night in Sedona, Arizona. An unexpected snowstorm had passed through the unusual warm city, dumping several inches of snow in a short time. The electricity was off. The cabin I was staying in was freezing. Great, I thought. I get to spend my last evening in Sedona fighting off hypothermia alone in the dark. I put on a heavy sweater, then wrapped myself in a blanket and trudged to the phone booth and called a friend to complain. Change your perspective, he said. Pretend you're 4 years old. Get your flashlight. Then make a tent in your bed out of the pillows and blankets you can find. Enjoy the adventure. At first I balked, and then I decided to try this idea. I made the tent, bundled up. My complaints quickly turned to memories of what it was like to be a child, to play with life, to play with all the experiences life brings. Soon I fell asleep. When I woke in the morning, the heat was back on, the lights had returned, the snow had stopped falling. Capped in a frosty layer of white, the breathtaking city of rust iron mesas looked like wonderland. I had learned another lesson, practical and simple. Change your perspective and enjoy the adventure. Let the child in you come out and play. So with that, you can begin to wiggle your fingers and toes. Maybe reaching your arms up overhead for a nice full body stretch. Exhaling your hands to heart center. The divine in me honors the divine in you. And my soul honors your soul. I thank each of you for being here to practice with me. And we end our practice by saying together, Namaste. Thank you, yogis.